From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, September the 3rd, 2020. A Palestinian man infiltrated Israeli territory from Gaza last night. The man crossed the border fence into southern Israel near the community of Ein HaShlosha, where he was arrested and taken for questioning by IDF troops who found a knife and a bomb near him and said the suspect's apprehension foiled an attempted terror attack. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu confirmed there would be lockdown measures in parts of Israel that have particularly high COVID-19 infection rates. The numbers of positive cases have continued to rise in Israel, and the cabinet decided to impose lockdown and restrictions on those areas hardest hit, about 30 municipalities across the country, that will reportedly include travel restrictions and the closures of schools except for kindergarten and special education. A decision about whether any restrictions will go into place over the high holidays in Israel will be discussed in the next week or so. Well, tweets from Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei are causing outrage. The Islamic Republic's leader tweeted yesterday about the Abraham Accord, the normalization of ties announced between Israel and the United Arab Emirates earlier this month. Writing, the UAE acts in agreement with the Israelis and filthy Zionist agents of the U.S., such as the Jewish member of Trump's family, referring there presumably to Jared Kushner, with utmost cruelty against the interests of the world of Islam, using the hashtag UAE stabs Muslims. CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, tweeted that Iran's Khamenei routinely spreads anti-Semitism. His deeply hateful post clearly violates Twitter's rules against comments that dehumanize, degrade, or reinforce negative or harmful stereotypes. Heads of state, Greenblatt wrote, must be held to higher standards, not lower ones, over hate online. The leaders of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, Arthur Stark, William Daroff, and Malcolm Hoenlein, wrote, this hateful and insightful rhetoric has no place on any social media platform, and we demand that it be taken down and his accounts blocked, referring there to the Iranian leader. The conference praised Emiratis for welcoming the historic agreement with Israel, as well as Saudi Arabia for allowing flights between the UAE and Israel to travel through its airspace. Writing, we also look to others in the region to join in embracing peace at this critical time. We hope to see the Palestinian Authority have a change of heart and finally demonstrate that it is open to peaceful coexistence with Israel. And El Al announced a first cargo flight to Dubai just days after it made history with the flight to Abu Dhabi. El Al said the flight will depart on September the 16th, carrying agricultural and high-tech equipment from Israel to the Emirates. They said the weekly El Al cargo flight to Dubai will enable Israeli companies connectivity in import and export from and to Dubai, as well as Asia in transfer from Dubai. And an Israeli shoe company said it plans to expand to the Emirates. Scoop told Israel's Channel 12 News that it will open 5 stores in the UAE, including, reportedly, the first Israeli store in Dubai. A joint Israel-Italy venture is heading to space. The Dido 3 nanosatellite, weighing only 5 pounds, was among 53 small satellites from 13 countries launched into space on the Vega rocket from the Guyana Space Center in French Guiana in South America last night local time. Dido 3 was designed by Israeli company Space Pharma in partnership with the Israeli Space Agency and the Ministry of Science and Technology and the Italian Space Agency. The head of Israel's Space Agency, Avi Blasberger, said the satellite will work as a mini laboratory, conducting experiments in microgravity conditions. Blasberger said Space Pharma is the only commercial company in the world to run a space-based research lab except for NASA. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, September the 3rd. At 7 o'clock, it's Talmud study. At 8, former Knesset member and Shalom Hartman Institute fellow Ruth Calderon speaks with the Institute's Alan Abbey on the complexities of Israel as both a democratic and Jewish state. At 9 tonight, Mark Golub sits down with the stars of the hit Israeli TV show Shtisel, Michael Aloni, Dov Glickman, and Netta Riskin. At 10:30, it's the film Magical Israel, Jerusalem. And coming up next, Shachar Azani speaks with Professor Varda Lieberman, head of Israel's IDC's MBA program on global health, who talks about their work in healthcare innovation and about Israel's role in fighting COVID-19 and improving health worldwide. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, September the 3rd, 2020. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy, stay well.